everyone, welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. I am Bonnie Krebs, creator of Watercolor the Art Impressions Way, and we're in the next few weeks, we're working our way through the newest releases. So this one is the Fir Trees Set, and so we're going to take this week and I'm going to walk you through this set. There's a lot of different options with it, and these elements all sort of have a purpose. So that you can create these really cool trees. So pine trees and fir trees and spruce trees, they all have different shapes. And so there's a lot of options with these little elements. So we're going to kind of work our way through them. We only need a couple of markers. So I'm just using the pine green and the number 45 sepia. So just these two colors right now. And we're going to start out with one of the tree trunks. So there are two options with these, and you can use either one that you want. I like them both. And the nice thing about these is you can cut them short or not. So depending on how much you ink of it, that's how long the tree will be. So you do have that option too. So let's start out with one of these tree trunks, and you can see that I didn't ink the whole thing. I left some open spaces in here. And I kind of did that on purpose because we want to be able to put some of these boughs in and not see the tree trunk all the way through. So we're going to start out with one of these small, this one right here. So this little one right here. These two are similar. This one's just larger. They're really, really versatile. So we're going to start out with this one. This is the top of the tree. So we're going to ink that, just the top. And we're going to just stamp it right at the top of the tree. So just like that. You can put a couple more in here if you want to. And then we're going to go on to the other fir boughs. So that would be this one. This is a left and a right. So these two, we're going to start with these that are a little bit curved. So we're just going to kind of work our way down. And I'm going to ink these and just kind of put them in wherever. It doesn't matter if you stamp over the tree. That's okay. And some of them, you know, when you're looking at these fir trees, some of them are a little more sparse and some of them are really, really dense. So we're going to do a few samples of each of those. So you can see how the left and the right, it really helps to have those. And depending on what you ink of it, it's going to change your image a ton. You can always come back in here and add a few more, depending on how full you want your tree to be. And then we're just going to come in now and add water to this, just like we do with everything else. So we're just going to dab. So you're just dabbing, dip your brush in water, pinch it off, and just dab. And this will all just kind of come together. We're going to use a lot of these trees in the next few weeks too. So different projects that I'm doing, I will be incorporating these trees into them. But I wanted to take a week and just make sure that you could see exactly how they stamp, because there are a lot of different ways to use these. So I'm just dipping my brush, pinching it off, and working my way down the tree. And you can see how these boughs kind of turn up. Kind of work your way through, and then I just can put one little stroke here on the tree, on the trunk, and then go back in and darken this in between here. So you can see where this tree is, where it's kind of showing through, and just darken that in there. And then just add a little, just on your palette, add a little green, and we'll just add a little sepia, kind of mix that up. And let's just put a little base under here. Don't have to do much, just like that. And we have our first fir tree that we've done. Super easy and so much fun. Now you can shorten this, like I said, depending on what you color of the trunk, the tree trunk, you can make this shorter and do a smaller one next to it. They're going to change because you're stamping these boughs, you know, randomly. So every time you stamp this, it's going to look different. So let's change that up a little bit now. Let's do that same tree trunk again. And again, I'm going to take a few of these little spots out. And let's just stamp it right next to it here. So just like that. And let's turn this now. So we're going to turn these so that these boughs are kind of drooping down. So let's start out with the top. There's that little guy that we're going to stamp on the top. So again, just the top of this. just like that. And we're going to start out at the top with the same one. So we're going to kind of bring these out. So I'm just inking half of this and just kind of working my way down and turning it a little bit. You can see how this completely changes the look of this tree. Now I'm going to ink these that kind of droop down, so the same ones again. And I can ink just a few more of these. And I just kind of go back and forth on these. You know, just pick up a right and a left. And hang some of these down. Dip your brush in water now. And just kind of blend this. Just dab. This is so fun. And I love these fir trees. They're just so cool. It's so fun to put them into a scene, especially if you have a little cabin in the background. They're just really fun to use. So we're gonna be using these trees, doing more sceneries where we can place these trees into our scenes. So again, just like that. And let's go back in now and really darken this little tree trunk. You can widen this too. So if you want this tree to be bigger, feel bigger, just add another stroke next to the trunk. And let's just put a little ground on here as well. And there we have it. So you can see two totally different styles of trees, but using those the same 3 stamps. Super easy. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So we're gonna go on to these. These are a little thinner. So this is a totally different tree, totally different style. So let me show you what that one looks like. So here's the other tree trunk. This is a little simpler one. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm inking it with the sepia. I'm going to take out a couple of spots in here and just ink it just like this. I'm going to put that top in again. So here's that same little stamp. And we're just going to add the top in just like that. Really easy. And we're going to take our left and right now of these two. So, you know, as you are closer to the top, these are going to be a little shorter. And this style is just a little sparser, so it's not quite as filled in. So as you get down, you're going to get a little larger. So just like this. And let's go back over to the other side. And just keep stamping this in there. Super easy. Okay, so let's add our water to that. And you can see we've got a totally different looking tree here. And just keep dabbing. You can always come back and add more to these. Sometimes you just have to add a few more little pieces in just to make it look right, but that's okay. Easy to do. Okay, and I'm going to add just a couple more in here because I think that's looking a little sparse. So just in here like that, and maybe one more on the other side. Just like that. So way smaller, thinner boughs for this tree, but also just as cute and so fun to do. You know, the reason that I made these in pieces like this because I want them all to look different. Every time that you stamp them, I want them to look different. And if you have the stamp that's all one piece, you're really limited as to how you can use it, and it's going to be really uniform. So I love that these, we have that option with these stamps that we can add them in pieces and they're going to be different every time. Okay, so again, we darkened that little trunk in there. Let's just add a little base to the bottom. So just like that. And let's move on to another one. So let's use the same style again. So we're going to use these same 2 elements. And we're gonna make a little fuller tree. So this time, I really just need the top of the tree and the bottom. So I'm gonna kind of remove all of this in here. And the reason that we need the top and the bottom is so that we can see where the trunk goes, so we know where the center is. So now I'm gonna use these same ones again. And let's put that top in. So here's the top right here. And let's just start out by inking this all the way down. We're just going to fill this in. So this is going to look a little bit more like a Christmas tree. So really full. And just kind of ink your way down. It's okay if these cross over to the other side. You don't have to be that careful with it. So let's do the other side now. And you can turn it. If you want these to angle down a little bit, you can do that. The more that you play around with it, the more ways that you'll be able to see how you can use these. Just so fun. Okay, so you can see that this tree is quite a bit fuller than the other one. We're going to do the same thing now, add our water to it. Pinch your brush off, always pinch your brush off. And you can see how we don't need that tree trunk showing through because this is a really full tree. And you know, you want to still see the texture of the image, so you don't want to add, you know, too much water, but we still want to soften these branches. So you're just dabbing. Just kind of dab it. Remember, your hand is flat on the table and you're just jumping your brush around. Now, don't be afraid to go outside of the lines. You know, you can drag this color clear out if you want to. And let's put a little base on here. Let's just add a little more color to the palette. So that's the green and the sepia. And just mix these up a little bit. Gives you a really nice base color. And there we go. Those two, this is using the same elements, but you can see how different these two trees look as well. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. And that is these two small ones. This is a small one we've been using all along, and the large size. So there's two sizes of these. So let's just grab another tree trunk, and I'll show you how to put these together. So we're going to ink this in the sepia again. And let's just start out with a small one. So let's just pick, let's just take a couple of these little spots out again. And let's just start out with a small one of these. And you can do a small tree. So again, like this, and kind of work your way all the way down. So just like this. And just kind of stop there. So just dip your brush, pinch it off. And you can see that this looks like a big old majestic fir tree. And we've kind of stopped it right there. You can also bring some of these down. So just bring a few of these down like this. And that will also change the look of the tree so much. Put a little base in here. Okay, like so. Again, darken that tree trunk. Just darken this tree trunk. You can put a little bit in here as well. And like I said before, you can widen these trunks so you can make this tree way bigger. You can see how that really changes the look of it. just doing that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So let's add a bigger tree. So let's choose the other tree trunk. Same with this, and let's take a few of these places off again. So just like that. And here's that little stamp again. So again at the top and the sides. And let's just kind of work our way down with this one. Just kind of keep going. And we can stop this tree about this far too. And add our water to it. You can really, really make these trees look like what's out there in nature. You know, whether it's a spruce tree or a pine tree. Look at the way the boughs are and how they hang down. And these really, really work well. Okay, let's add a little bit more to the tree trunk. And there we have it. So another option. So let's just do a couple more. And let's just use the large one this time. So this one. And you can use this by itself as well. So you can stamp it like this. Just stamp it. Just a couple of times. And use these little boughs, so the little ones that turn up, so the left and the right, and just put these in. And you can do a much smaller version of a tree or a bush, little bush. So just like so. And let's do one more option with the tree trunk. So again, just the top and the bottom. And let's just do the large one. So here's that large one again. So again, at the top. And we're just going to kind of work it down really, really close in. So we're doing a kind of a tall version. So just like this, and again, add the water. You can see what a difference it makes to add the water to it. It just softens everything up and makes it look so natural. Just so fun to add these into the backgrounds. And there we go. And another one finished. Go ahead and darken that in. And there we go. So many options. Let me show you one more. So all I did with this one was put a little blue background, and then I used my my gel pen, so my pigment white gel pen, and put a little white on here. So there's that option too. So you can add a little bit of snow to it. We'll be doing this later on, and like I said, we'll be using these trees later on in some different projects. But for now, practice these trees. You are going to love using these. They're so much fun and so versatile to use. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to tune in next week, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I so appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you next week.